Hey everyone, welcome back to the regularly scheduled Go Battle League content. All three leagues are finally back, and I am hopping into the Great League once again. As you guys can tell, I took a break during Kanto Cup and Master Premier Classic. I really thought they'd be a lot better leagues than they were, but Master Premier Classic ended up being a total dud, and Kanto Cup ended up being just okay because of the prevalence of Lickitung and Chansey. So, kind of let down, but anyways, gonna get into the battles. We have a team of G-Fisk, Abomasnow, and Azumarill, and this ended up being my first battle. It had me in the battle starting queue for about 30 seconds, and then I got sent to the quote-unquote battle. It ended, and I won, but the first battle that I played in that set, I won, and it counted as a loss. That rare glitch came back. I don't know why, so I guess it kind of evens out a little bit. Anyways, we have a really nice lead here with Bastiodon, and I'm going to go straight up for this Energy Ball on Abomasnow. This is actually my very, very newly built Shadow Abomasnow. This is my second Great League Shadow Pokemon after Venusaur, which there's a reason I don't really use Venusaur that much. It just gets outclassed by actual Venusaur. The Shadow variant is not that great, so because Frenzy and Sludge Bomb kill basically everything that a normal Venusaur would. Anyways, these were my first battles with this team, so I definitely should have farmed up extra on Politoed, but it ended up not really mattering because I was able to get 2 energy balls off on the Bastiodon. I do get hit with a flamethrower here, and I'm going to instant swap knowing that it is pretty safe to assume that my opponent is going to pull a switch as well, and they end up having Frostlass in the back, so Azu and G-Fisk both have pretty good matchups against Frostlass, and so I don't have to worry here. I can let the Shadow Ball go. I'm actually going to bait with Ice Beam, and this might throw my opponent off. He actually does shield because shields are up. At this point, I am going to go straight for the Play Rough. It's only going to be 1 bubble extra for me to get to 2 Play Roughs over 2 Ice Beams, so might as well go for either guaranteed damage or get the second shield and then get the KO. So this Play Rough is coming through, and it's going to get shielded, but that's fine here because I'm going to get to another Play Rough. I can either shield this or let it go. I'm actually going to shield it just to make the game a little bit more decisive. I don't really have to think by doing this. I just take out the Frostlass, and then I come back in with G-Fisk, and this game ends up being over because 2 Flamethrowers doesn't take me out. So my opponent is going to surrender the match, and that is going to be a very nice first game. I did have a lot of success with this team. I ended up going positive for most of my sets. There was one set where I went 2-3, but every single loss that I had was so incredibly close, and I am going to showcase 2 of those losses later in the video. They're very constructive games, so I would definitely recommend that you stay tuned for those. Anyways, we have the G-Fisk Mirror. I let the Earthquake go because I was feeling ballsy. My opponent's going to shield here, but that's okay. I can safe swap, and my opponent comes in with Sableye. I was really shocked here. I was kind of thinking that maybe he has a double dark team, but that would just make this team really weak to Azu. So I don't really know what he could have in the back. Something has to be weak to Azu, so I'm going to shield up the potential return, and my opponent's going for it with shields up. Definitely a bit of a mistake, but I think this is going to be a foul play because he knows that he's not going to be able to get to another return before I get to the Play Rough. So that's fine. CMP tie is absolutely okay here. I am going to try and undercharge this Play Rough just a little bit to be able to get one more bubble through, but it ends up KOing anyways, so I definitely need to learn some undercharge tactics to make some of my battles a little bit more decisive, but my opponent has his own Azu in the back, so I was kind of shocked to see that he switched into Sableye instead of Azu. But I'll take it. That's very fine with me. I can just shield up this move. I'm actually going to let it go because I know it's not going to KO, and at this point I can just farm up a little bit, and I think all I need to do is go for 1 Weather Ball. When this Sableye comes back in, no, he has G-Fisk. When this G-Fisk comes back in, I can get to a couple more moves, and this should be game over. So I definitely had to be quite precise after losing my G-Fisk to my opponent's G-Fisk Earthquake. But we are looking pretty good here. I have a card request available in Clash Royale. But yeah, it ends up being able to take the G-Fisk out, so ended up being pretty decisive after a questionable start. We have a Kofagrigus lead. This was one of the more common leads I saw today. I think the most common leads I saw today were Kofagrigus and Trevenant. What else did I see? I saw a couple Skarmory. I saw one or two Bastiodon. I saw one or two G-Fisk. I saw Venusaur. Not sure. But anyways, we are going to throw this Rock Slide on the Kofagrigus. My opponent shields, and knowing that he wants to switch here, I'm not really going to fight for it. I'm going to come in with my Abomasnow and start loading up on energy. There's a reason that I titled this video Shadow Abomasnow Sweeps Teams. You're going to see it right here. There's a prime example. My opponent comes in Azu. He is one shield down. No, actually we have tied up shields, so my opponent tried to call the bait. I'm just going to go straight for the energy ball. That goes through. I'm going to go for a weather ball here, and at this point I think I can safely shield up and farm down. This matchup is going to be looking really nice if I'm able to successfully farm down. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My opponent, that bubble was going to get to the Ice Beam, and I'm going to be able, my opponent has Staraptor in the back. This is looking really nice. Shadow Staraptor, I think that is super duper glassy. It's kind of like Honchkrow in terms of bulk, and I have a Shadow Abomasnow, super effective weather ball. That's going through, taking it out, and we're going to be able to farm the Kofagrigus down, and that is a successful Abomasnow sweep, ladies and gentlemen. Feast your eyes. That's beautiful. Alright, we have a Dedenne lead. I also did see one or two of these. I actually saw a couple in the back as well. Trevenant, very nice safe swap for this team. I can just come in with my Abomasnow, and this is a very straightforward matchup. I can let this Shadow Ball get shielded up. I actually go for a Weather Ball, and I definitely could have... Okay, he's going to shield it. I definitely could have undercharged that just a little bit. I think I throw when he gets to the Seed Bomb, or when he gets one before the Shadow Ball, and he's going to throw another shield in. So I'll take this to the shields down. G-Fisk has a really nice matchup on Dedenne, and since my opponent tried to fight for Switch and didn't get it, this game is effectively over. Let's see, my opponent comes back in with Dedenne, so I'm going to throw the Energy Ball here. It is less efficient, but I want to be able to throw this thing and farm down. And it's looking like that might be possible. My opponent would be able to get to a discharge, but I'm actually able to farm him down. And Abomasnow sweeps another team. My opponent gives up because he doesn't want the smoke. And that is going to be another GG. So 2 Abomasnow sweeps in a row. And we have a really nice lead for this matchup. I think that was a Charmeleon Ninetales. Otherwise, maybe we weren't able to see. But my opponent safe swaps Umbreon, and Umbreon's not a safe swap when you have Azu. So I'm going to be able to charge a little bit extra energy here. Go for one play rough. Take these last resorts like a champ. And that does about half HP. I actually do not have an XL Azu, so having a non-XL Azu is actually a little bit better for the Umbreon matchup. I'll take the second last resort, build up a little bit extra energy. Go for the play rough here. If my opponent lets this go, it will be taking it out, and that is what ends up happening. My opponent comes back in with Ninetales, and it does end up being Charm. I'm able to fast move deny there when I get to my play rough. It's probably not going to matter too much, but this play rough is going to do about 50%, maybe just under. But at this point, knowing that this is a Charm Ninetales, I can come safely with G-Fisk. My opponent has Sableye in the back, but Abomasnow beats this thing with shields up, especially the Shadow variant. So, is Shadow Abomasnow something that you want to build? I just finished building mine right in time for Great League to come back. I TM'd this thing away whenever the event was going on, spent the 60k for the second move, and powered it up to 1498. So I already have my own Abomasnow, a regular Abomasnow. It's actually a shiny. It's like rank 40 something. But I definitely think that you want to use Shadow Abomasnow over regular Abomasnow. It's just a lot better. It hits harder. It doesn't really feel that much less tanky. I mean, this thing is the Great League, and I think Shadow Pokemon do a lot better in the Great League. So, should you build a Shadow Abomasnow? Well, if you don't have a regular Abomasnow built, I would definitely recommend building a Shadow one. If you do have a regular one built, I mean, that comes down to personal preference. I personally would say yes, having both is really, really nice, but having a Shadow Abomasnow is definitely something that is a really nice weapon to have in your back pocket. Alright, well we have another Umbreon switch here. This is looking a lot like the first battle where my opponent had Dedenne in the lead and then switched in with Umbreon. So I'm going to do the same thing here that I did last time. This time my opponent has Psychic and not Last Resort, so this is not the same battle. But I'm going to overcharge the same amount that I did last game. I'm going to throw this player off. My opponent's going to let it go. And we're going to keep on playing. So I think my opponent definitely wants to come back with Dedenne here. Gonna throw this player off before they get to a discharge. Now this is gonna be threatening a shield, but this Dedenne is basically useless, so there's really no point. If my opponent has a fighter in the back, that's really his only win condition here. A quick look at the team. It is ABA weak to fighting, but you don't really see too many fighting leads. I think I did maybe see 1 or 2 Machamp leads. Oh, my opponent has Flygon in the back, so yeah, this game is absolutely over. Not that my opponent could really do there. He definitely got hard countered, so GG. But yeah, this team is ABA weak to fighting, so there's 2 things that you can do against fighting type leads. You can either sack your G-Fisk and try and get a shield with Earthquake, or I think that a viable option would be to actually switch into a Azumarill, and then whenever they come into their Azu counter, you just let the Azu go down, and then you come in with your best answer to whatever their Azu counter is, try and get a shield down and load up on energy for the fighter in the back. It's definitely a winnable game, so you don't have to top left whenever a fighting lead comes in, even though this team does seem pretty weak to it. Obviously, it'll be pretty tough to fare against the fighting lead, but I actually did pick up a couple wins in this video against fighting leads, so stay tuned for that as well. This, I think, is one of my better videos in terms of gameplay. I think I played really, really well today, and I'm proud of my battles, and I'm very, very excited to be making this video, just for the sheer fact that Great League is back, but also I really, really enjoyed these battles, and I had a lot of fun, and I think I played really, really well. Alright, well, my opponent has Azu. I did get pretty lucky with leads today, so definitely helped make these battles a little bit easier. But some of my tougher matchups, I still feel like I was making the right calls here. I actually think that I made a perfect undercharge here, but my opponent actually gets to a move. Don't know if it was lag or if he only needed to throw 1 bubble to get to a move, but I made a miscalculation, and I make another miscalculation here. I definitely could have got to 2 weather balls here, but I decided to go for the energy ball out of a little bit of panic. But it does get a shield, and I can just come in with Azu, so it ended up not mattering. I'm going to be able to go to this Rock Slide here on G-Fisk. If he shields, just going to let it go down and come in with Azu, throw the Ice Beam. I probably want to shield here. Okay, yeah, well, if my opponent has a... Yeah, my opponent has a Scrafty in the back, so I definitely should have shielded there. A little bit of a misplay, but it's really not going to matter. If my opponent throws a foul play here, I can live it, so I'm going to let this move go through. As you can see, I'm tapping on the shield button, but not actually letting go. So, yeah, my opponent gets to a power-up punch. Glad I didn't shield it, because now I think at this range, a foul play, I still don't think it would KO, but better to be safe than sorry. Gonna shield there and throw this player off. That is going to be a GG. So, another win. Another thing about this team, very strong against dragons, very strong against Altaria and Dragonite. There's really nowhere for it to go. So, that's another reason why this team is very nice. You almost never lose against Altaria, which isn't super common in the meta, but it's still a pretty good pick. It is very highly rated on PvPoke. So, I'm going to play this Kofagrigus matchup the same as I almost always do. I throw the Earthquake first. If they let it go, I go for the Rock Slide. If they shield it, I just go for the other Earthquake, but I let the first move go almost always. Actually, if you have a Kofagrigus lead against G-Fisk, I think you honestly want to shield up the first move, because if your opponent throws an Earthquake, you will be in Rock Slide range. Alright, so my opponent throws a Dark Pulse at me. I come in with Abomasnow to try to farm down. Unluckily, I'm barely not able to. My opponent lives with 1 HP. And is able to get to a Dark Pulse. So it evens up to shield count here. and he comes in with a Reggie Steel. So this matchup has just become very, very difficult. My opponent has a Ghost type and a Steel type, so I don't really know what kind of Core Breaker would beat this team. Probably weak to Scrafty. It's very weak to Scrafty. So maybe they have a Scrafty answer in the back. And if they have a Scrafty answer in the back, it's probably something that beats a Azumarill. Could be an Azu of its own, and it is an Azu of its own. So this matchup is playable. It doesn't look great. I think my plan at this point is let my Azu go down and then try and come in and farm up as much energy as I can with Abomasnow. So I'm going to get this play rough through. I'm going to try and build up to another one. I also could maybe live a play rough. I don't think I would be able to if they full bubbled it, but I'm luckily able to get to my own play rough here, get my opponent into the red, and at this point it's looking pretty okay. My opponent throws 1 over the play rough I was counting here, so what I'm actually going to do, come in with Abomasnow. My opponent switches right away as well. Very, very keen. But I'm going to throw this energy ball, and I'm so lucky that my opponent doesn't shield here, because now there is a win condition spotted. Keep in mind the Azu in the back is 1 bubble up, so it's going to be 4 bubbles away from getting to the next move. So what I'm going to do is over farm here, try and get this last shield with the weather ball, and I'm able to. So now we have a very clear win condition. Get to this weather ball, get to another weather ball on the Azu, and this is game over. Knowing that Abomasnow is going to win CMP, I'm actually going to throw 6 Powder Snows, because 6 Powder Snows and 4 bubbles get to energy the same amount. And I'm going to throw this weather ball at the last second, and we're going to take that game. The 20-second timer was coming down, so that game went down to the wire. But a very close battle, and we just barely pull through. I think I might have forgot to edit this one through a little bit, but that's okay. It didn't last me too long. Next battle, we're going to have a Ferrothorn lead, so definitely not something that you want to see on this team. It's pretty weak to everything. If the Ferrothorn has either Mirror Shot or Flash Cannon, which most Ferrothorns run Mirror Shot, but if you have a Steel move on Ferrothorn, it kind of core breaks this entire team. Azu definitely doesn't want to see it. Abomasnow doesn't want to see the Steel type moves, and then G-Fisk is pretty neutral against it. So my opponent actually switches out into Azu, and I'm fine here to throw this energy ball. Abomasnow has a very nice matchup here against Azu. Let's see if he shields. He's going to let it go, and let's see here. I know a weather ball at this range won't KO entirely. I think maybe with the residual Powder Snow damage, I might have been able to throw a weather ball, but I really wasn't trying to risk anything here. And at this point in the game, chaos ensues in my brain. I was kind of miscounting here. My opponent throws a bunch of mirror shots, and I definitely get caught off track as my phone is buzzing. Alright, phone call taken care of. Yeah, so I throw a weather ball here, and this is going to do... Oh, it's actually going to get shielded. And I try and overfarm here and be crafty, but... yeah, my opponent had another move, because Mirror Shot's like 2 or 3 freaking bullet seeds, so it is what it is here. Now I can get... Ooh, not able to get to an Earthquake. That is absolutely tragic here. I'm going to throw the Earthquake here. That bullet seed going through isn't going to matter if this Earthquake KOs. And I pull an immediate switch because I'm not trying to risk my G-Fisk getting farmed down. And out of all the Pokemon that switching out into Azu could be a bad idea against, it ends up being a Dedenne. So I think if I was able to farm up to a Rock Slide, we would have CMP'd. And I think Dedenne wins CMP. But if my opponent ended up not throwing, I would have been able to get the Rock Slide through, and then I probably would have been able to get to an Ice Beam. Honestly, I don't think there's a win con there, because like look how much these Thunder Shocks are doing, but this charge is only a 5 Thunder Shock energy move to get to, so my opponent would be winning CMP. So I think the game was over either way. If there's any Pokemon I don't want to see there, it's going to be that one. So unfortunate. Definitely could have won if my opponent had anything else in the back, but he played the matchup relatively well. We have another Trevenant lead, so this thing has been pretty common for me today. So maybe tomorrow I'll build something that beats Trevenant and Kofagrigus in the lead. A lot of ghost types going around, so these dark teams are going to be pretty successful. Might be running Umbreon tomorrow, or maybe Mandibuzz. You guys have never seen Mandibuzz on the channel, but I also just freshly built up that one actually earlier today, so stay tuned for a Mandibuzz video coming in the next week. Super excited to use it because it's extremely good, so definitely going to be testing that one out. So my opponent, I don't know who switched out. I think my opponent switched out into G-Fisk because he won the lead, didn't want to get farmed down. So unfortunately, I don't have Hydro Pump on this Azu, and yeah, my opponent doesn't shield, so would have been nice, but I think Ice Beam Play Rough is the best moveset. I think with Abomasnow on the team, you can make a case to run Hydro Play Rough, but you definitely want Play Rough for the dark types, for the fighting types, and for the Azu Mirror. Anyways, I am able to successfully farm down this G-Fisk. My opponent comes right back in with Trevenant and does not throw a move, so I'm going to throw this Ice Beam, and my opponent's going to let it go, but just like last match, the one Pokemon you don't want to see is something with counter or a fighter. But my opponent has something with counter, so that's pretty bad. I'm going to go for the Energy Ball because my opponent still has a shield up. And, oh, no, he didn't. Wait, could I have won this? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. See, I under-tapped that move, and Azu is supposed to win CMP against Deoxys, but for some reason the game sucks, and my opponent's able to get to a... He stacks a Thunderbolt and a Psycho Boost and is able to get to both of them. So, GG, I definitely think that I could have probably won that game with 2 Weather Balls, but here's that Machamp matchup that I was talking about. I think I had 2. I don't know where the other one went, but anyways, let's dive into this one. My opponent throws a Rock Slide at me before switching. I'm going to get the shield with an Ice Beam, almost guaranteed. Yeah, my opponent shields, and he's gonna switch into Umbreon. Okay, well, a battle like this is definitely gonna give me a shot to win. This team is already extremely weak to Fairy, so what in the heck could they have in the back? You can't run Machamp Double Dark. You can't. You're going to get walled by any Charmer. And there's no team effort bullshit to take it out either, so, alright, well, I take out the Umbreon, and I'm assuming my opponent's going to come back into Machamp, of course, and I'm going to come into Abomasnow. I was kind of debating which one would be better. Obviously, I think that Abomasnow would be better. Oh, my opponent has Sableye. Oh my gosh, you madman. You absolute madman. You do not care about Charmers even a little bit. You are an absolute psychopath. What in the heck? I don't think I realized this at the time of the game, that Charm or Fairy types would just absolutely destroy this team. But Azu ended up being pretty dang clutch for me. At this point, what am I going to come in with? I'm going to come in with G-Fisk and try and get to a Rock Slide here. Ooh, I catch the Cross Chop. That's really nice. And that's going to give me a shot to win this game right here. Cross Chop's going to KO. And at this point, I could have thrown here. But I recognize that I can probably Mud Shot this thing down. And I live with a literal definitive 1 HP. I think a graphic of my level should come back up in a second, but that was the last battle. So anyways, I wanted to say thank you guys for watching this video. It means a lot to me. YouTube took me off the recommended pages, so hopefully I can get back onto it soon with consistent upload speed. Anyways, if you enjoy, definitely make sure to leave a like. I need help with the algorithm trying to get me back on recommended pages, so I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a good one. See you soon.